Hello, and welcome to the Village Live. I'm your girl, Dr. Roz, CEO and founder of the Village Leadership Group, LLC.
And you know I had to be in here. I am Coach Williams. I am the content supervisor for the Village Leadership Group, LLC.
Thank you so much for joining us today as we talk about mental health matters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and we want to talk about it. So again, join the discussion as we talk about the importance of taking care of your mental health. I want you to be intentional. So look, guys, this has been a week. So we're gonna jump right in and just kind of do a check-in. So again, join the village, join the discussion.
So you just said it's been a week, and it's Tuesday.
It's been a week. It's been a week.
I had to reflect. I was like, well, is it Thursday?
Right. So part of one of the things that I do to take care of my mental health is to be able to vent to friends, my husband, if I need to, the dog.
Jesus.
And then of course, Coach Williams, my sister. So I have to vent. We're gonna start right here. So I said it's been a week.
You did.
It's Tuesday. I am the person in my building that deals with discipline. But today we also had testing. So all morning I'm helping with testing. And then there's so many different situations piling up. So right after testing, my radio, you know the radio, Dr. Gas, every 5 seconds there's something popping on.
Yeah.
So I did not get a lunch, so I had a migraine. You know, students want to skip class, hang out in the bathroom.
Kids skip class these days?
Just so many little things. You know, I had some students, they got together in the morning, got dropped off. And this is a high school. They got dropped off, if you're a charter school, no buses. Got dropped off, and then they want to decide to leave school. Right. So they're skipping school. Not just class. They're not hanging out in the bathroom. No, they leave.
They said, I'm out.
So I had to go deal with that, call parents and let them know. And then parents trying to find them. So I did that all day. Just one thing after another. Some students were skipping class, but they were just hanging out with teachers who know that they're skipping class.
Oh, Jesus. So it was just kind of a snowball effect. It was just...
So, yeah. So I literally just ate 5 minutes ago. So that's just my day. So this is my way of kind of woosah. At the end of the day, I just got to, cast my burdens on this.
And you know what? I know how you feel. Today has not been a week for me, but last week I was in the same predicament. Work stuff, and then you roll that over to home stuff, and it's like you can never catch a break. And as educators, we are always on stage. I always say that. It's never a break. We're always on the scene. And if you are good at what you do, you have a lot of people pulling at you. And so sometimes, when do you get that break? When do somebody check in on you?
Right.
And I'm loving this topic for us today. That mental health, that awareness, that check-in. So we vent to one another. We pour out our souls because we can understand. But leave in the comments, guys. How do you all check in on your mental awareness? Where are you? Let us know.
Right. You definitely have to kind of woosah and pause and reflect at the end of the day. I know for me, I've noticed lately that I'm not doing what I need to do for self-care. And my mood is really down and low. So I know the weather is finally better because it's been raining. The weather affects your mental health. So now that the weather is getting better, we can go outside, we can walk, do some exercise. So again, do what makes you feel better. And a lot of times it's to take care of yourself, go outside, get some exercise, eat healthy. So that's one of the things that I know I need to do more of. I saw my girl, Dr. Houston. She's always getting all her steps in, her exercise in, and encouraging others within the village to do the same. So get your 10,000 steps in, because again, your physical health and your mental health all comes together. So take care of, if you feel good, you know, then it can kind of affect everything else. If you're exercising and getting your blood circulating, it kind of helps with your mood and your stress level as well. So you definitely want to take care of your physical body and do what makes you feel good.
And you know, I'm so glad you said that, that physical, but I want to kind of shift things to talk about mental. A lot of times we steer clear of that.
The stigma of mental health, that crazy word, we have to get rid of that.
Yeah.
If someone says, oh, I had to go talk to my therapist or my psychiatrist, like, ooh, they're crazy. And the good news is, you know, it's getting better.
Yes.
I know in my circle of friends, we're having conversations about that, and it's becoming normal.
It is.
To say, oh, I have to, oh, girl, what you doing at 5 o'clock? Oh, you might have to check with my therapist. And so it's just like you talk about going to get your hair done. Now we can say, oh, I have to check with my therapist, or I have my appointment
Right.
at 5 with my psychiatrist. Great. You know, we should celebrate that and talk about it. Let it be a part of our normal conversation.
Exactly.
Especially with our educators, we have so many things going on right now. So we need to make sure that we pause, reflect, and kind of assess where we are with our thinking, with our mood, with our stress level, our thoughts.
Right.
What are we thinking about? And making sure, do we need to have a checkup?
Okay, check in, check up, check out. You know, you talked about our educators, and back to being on stage, a lot of times we have to make sure we're whole because we're affecting and touching so many of our students. We had one of our guests a while back talk about the importance of modeling for our students. And you know, if we are talking about our mental health, it kind of shows that there is no stigma. We're breaking down those walls. And think about a teacher coming in that they've already kind of de-escalated it. So they've already tapped into what their triggers are. Right now we're at the end of the school year and it is difficult. So
Yes.
please check on yourself and seek help if you need it.
Definitely. And you know, you talked about the students. I know, again, I'm at a high school and our seniors just had their last day of school.
I see.
Exactly. But I know the few weeks leading to their last day, they were under a lot of pressure.
Yes.
A lot of pressure.
AP exam.
And we had a lot of seniors, you know, just crying, and you know, you finding them and they're just so stressed out. Again, having those safe spaces at school where they can go to someone and talk to them. You know, we had seniors at the last minute, they needed service hours to graduate, or that one class where they needed, you know, 10 more points. So it was a lot of stress on them, and you know, just being able to come to me or go to a counselor or an administrator to check in and say, this is how I'm feeling, this is why I'm stressed. And there was a couple of times where I just let some of the students hang out in my office just to kind of decompress. Woosah, if they need to catch up on some work, that's fine. They want to eat their lunch and talk, whatever.
They had their moment.
They had their moment. Because I know I need it sometimes, so I know they need it.
You needed it today.
Right. Oh my goodness.
But you know, that's what it looks like in students. But have you seen how it manifests in your colleagues? So give me one thing that you see in your colleagues and maybe something that you do to help them.
Well, a lot of times with some of the teachers or even administrators, where they're taking off more than they normally do, right? Which is okay. If you need a half a day, take it. Okay.
Take a whole day.
Take a whole day. But if you see a pattern where it's like 2 or 3 days in a week, and that's not the norm. Or they're isolating themselves, where they normally hang out in the teacher's lounge, or you know, they're coming around to all our little after school activities, but they're going straight home. So they're feeling, you know, kind of burnt out, stress level is high. And so they maybe they don't feel supported. So one of the things I do is have a check-in with teachers. I go to the other administrators and say, how you doing? What's going on? Or if I see that they have a lot on their plate, I can go to them and say, what can I do to help?
It's funny you said that. In my building, I'm one of the, I guess you could say, collaborative planning gurus. Right. And so I I could see that this one department, they were covering classes, and like you said, there were a lot of teachers that were out. So let's just cancel it. You know, sometimes that compassion, that check-in looks like, let's just stop. You know,
Right.
I had another, one of our leaders in the building was very short. I mean, y'all, short. I had to clench my pearls with the way that they responded. And that was totally out of character for them. But when I stepped back and looked at all of the things that they were basically in charge of and responsible for, I would have been kind of short with people too. And so stepping in and not even asking what do they need, but knowing what they need and taking it off their plate.
Do it.
Just do it. That compassion really goes a long way. And not only for their mental health, but my mental health too, because they've been short with me. That's a whole nother. We'll talk about that next time. They've been short. I'll leave it in the comments.
Right. But we just want to make sure we, let everyone know that mental health matters.
Yeah.
And we need to remove that stigma of talking about it, and let's make it a priority to, check in with ourselves, check in with our colleagues, check in with our students to make sure again that we're okay.
Yeah.
And we have to do it. We have to be intentional about our physical, emotional, and mental health. We have to be intentional. So what are you doing to take care of your mental health? Now, I'm gonna be honest. Last year during this month, I signed up with a therapist.
Yeah.
And it was such a great thing. We had several sessions. I had several sessions with this wonderful, amazing therapist. And it just made me see different things that was happening and how I felt about different things going on with my family and with my career.
Yeah.
And just made me reflect. And I was like, you know what? I need to really think about this. And it really gave me a positive outlook on certain things.
Right.
And it gave me some encouragement on how to handle some other things too. So it was really good. So
she
therapist.
just keeps saying things. I want to know too.
But it dealt with my last situation.
Ah.
At work. I had a lot of issues. I didn't do well with work-life balance, a lot of work-related stress. And now I'm in a different situation, but I was still holding on to some of that old baggage. And she helped me realize that I have to just embrace the now and celebrate the now. Yeah, she did that. She was good. She was good. So talk to your therapist.
Talk to Dr. Ross.
I'm not a therapist.
You got a license?
I'm not. You call a real therapist.
But sometimes, we started off this segment venting.
Oh, yeah.
And that is a form of, I guess, low budget,
right.
low budget therapy.
Tier one.
Step one to identifying that. Yeah. But in our buildings, we have built relationships with people, and being able to find and tap in to those colleagues that you feel like you kind of let your guard down with. I think
and be transparent and honest.
Come on, I think that's key. And like you said, it's that step one to our mental health.
Exactly. So again, guys, during this month, make sure that you're checking in. We make appointments for the dentist, getting our hair done. We go shopping. We do all these things. We put it on our calendar. But be intentional about your mental health. We always talk about self-care. That's part of it. But if you know that you have some issues or dealing with issues with depression, anxiety, and you feel overwhelmed or stressed, or you feel lonely, any of those signs, you want to make sure that you go to the next level,
right?
Because maybe that college they're not equipped to dealing with that. So you definitely want to call a therapist, call a specialist, someone who was trained to deal with those issues. Because again, mental health matters. Definitely. It works for me, and we all need to make this part of our routine.
Yes.
All right. Go get a checkup with your mental health. All right. So again, thank you for joining. We love to hear from you guys. What do you do to check in? What do you do to decompress? And how do you take care of your mental health? All right. Thank you again for joining The Village. I'm your girl, Dr. Roz. Again, we are a community of educators coming together to support one another, to encourage each other, to be the best that we can be for our students. It's all about building a community, and that's what we are. So thank you for joining the village. See you next time. And remember, teacher leadership is a mindset, not a position. Y'all thought I forgot.
Mental.
Mental health.